Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gian, and for today's video, I'm gonna be sharing 25 bookish facts about me. So this video is a bit late because I've been busy with work and other stuff, but this was supposed to be posted when I reached 100 subscribers, which I did a few days ago. So yay! Currently, I'm already at 144 subscribers, you guys. Wow! Thank you so much for the love and for the support. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys who kept encouraging me to continue. And for some, they might think that it's just a small number, but it's very big for me because people took a chance to watch a Booktube newbie like me, and I've met some really good friends along the way. So I'm very grateful, and I hope our community keeps on getting bigger, not just in my channel but in our Booktube community here in the Philippines. So before I ramble on any further, let's proceed with the video. So I have here my handy dandy notebook because my memory sucks. I'm gonna be looking at this from time to time, so I do apologize in advance, and let's proceed with the video. So we'll start the list off by mentioning some of the popular YA books that I have not read yet. So we have Twilight by Stephanie Meyer, we have The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater, and what else? Shades of Magic by B. Schwab. So this is just to name a few, and then books from authors like Sarah Dessen, Kitty West, Daisy the Trend here, Nicholas Sparks, and John Green, and so much more. Now moving on to fact number 2, which is I was never a fan of contemporary, and mainly it's because I never get invested in the story or the characters because they're very short, and if I do find a good contemporary book, it left me wanting for a second book or for an installment, and usually they are a standalone. But my favorite contemporary series is P.S. I Love You by Jenny Han. It's just super cute, you guys. It's very light, it's just fluffy, and it's a feel-good story. Who doesn't like that? So I definitely recommend this series. So now moving on to number 3, which is I prefer hardbacks more than paperbacks. And the main reason is because hardbacks is just better at lengthening the life of your book than paperbacks because they are easily damaged. And then another reason is they're just beautiful to look at your shelf, you know. They have sometimes embossed designs on them, which is a plus. And yeah, but don't get me wrong, I'm not strictly a hardback kind of gal. I do have some paperbacks on my shelf as well. So now moving on to number 4. I hate mass market paperback. I hate them with my being. I mean, I understand the reason behind them is because it's very convenient to bring with you when you travel, but I just hate the fact that they compress 1,000+ pages into this small thing, and the font size is so small, you guys. It's not recommended for people with poor eyesight, which is this girl right here. So currently I have 4 on my shelf. I have 2 books from Diana Gabaldon, which is Outlander and Dragonfly in Ember, and then another 2 books from Anne Rice, Mummy and The Witching Hour. And the reason why I bought them is because it's the only format that I found those titles at. So yeah, I just try to avoid them as much as possible because again, I hate them. So moving on to number 5. Lately, I've been into audiobooks. I've tried audiobooks before, but it never really got stuck with me. But now I've been listening to audiobook after audiobook after audiobook, and they're just very convenient. When I come home and I want to read a book, I'm usually tired and I just want to lay down in bed and just chill. And for audiobooks, you just have to listen to them, like literally. You don't have to put any effort at all. You can even close the lights, and it's very relaxing, especially if you have or if the audiobook has a good voice actor. So let's move on to number 6. So my all-time favorite author is Rick Riordan. If you have been with me since the beginning of my Booktube journey, which is like 2 months ago, you probably know this because His Percy Jackson and the Olympian series is what got me started reading, seriously. And yeah, I just love him, but I have a lot of catching up to do, especially on his newer series. I think one of them has already 5 books. So that's not a problem actually. I'm very happy because more Rick Riordan books for me. So yeah. So now moving on to number 7. I hardly DNF books. And even though I will say that I won't read this book like ever, I'll probably give it another chance, and by the end, if I still don't like the book, I'll probably sell it on my carousel because some other people might like it, para hindi tayo wasteful, nakastock lang siya sa shelf natin and doing or collecting dust. So yeah. Number 8, my goal is to read 1,000 books by the age of 27, which is 5 years from now. I'm being realistic and I'm basing this on the pace that I'm currently on right now. So in my Goodreads account, I'm almost at 100 read books. So I really have to pick up the pace if I ever wish to accomplish this goal. Now on to number 9. So I prefer reading physical books more than any other format. And honestly, nothing beats the feeling of a book in your hand and reading it. I think it's very classic. It's an activity that I enjoy so much, proven by how many physical books I own. Over 150 plus, you guys. It's crazy. So let's move on to number 10. Speaking of format, I never got into ebooks. I tried it before, but it didn't really work for me because the tendency was I started switching between reading the book and then browsing the net, which is very distracting. So I didn't buy any ebooks moving forward. So let's move on to number 11. So a lot of people have been asking me about this, and this is my answer or my reply. I plan to make a Bookstagram account soon, but one thing is for sure, I won't be able to start it this month or the next month because I'll be busy with work and other stuff. So hopefully by August, I can open my account already. So moving on to number 12. So this year, I made a goal of going to famous bookstores on the places that I visit. But since Miss Corona arrived, everything is cancelled. Hopefully next year she's gone and we can all go back to normal programming. Hopefully. I need to travel soon. So number 13. Actually, for this one, I just noticed this recently. It became a habit of mine. So when I reach the climax of the story of the book, I usually put it down to mentally prepare myself. So after 2 to 3 days, I pick it up again and I read it in one sitting. This is why it's very rare for me to finish a book in one sitting because of these breaks. Usually for fiction books, it's before the fight scene or the war scene. I put it down. I just need to mentally prepare myself for what will happen to the characters that I love. Is it just me? Tell me it's not just me. So on to number 14. So I hate people on the cover. It's a big turn off for me and I generally avoid those. It's not very appealing or eye-catching, but of course there are a few exceptions. I think The Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson did it well, but usually I stay away from those. So on to number 15. I like a book cover that has a meaning behind it. Usually after I read a book, I try to decipher the meaning behind, the book cover, and I try to relate it to the story. That's just how it is. Number 16. So when I buy a new book and I open it, the first thing I do is I sniff it. So don't tell me you don't do it, because honestly, we all do it. So moving on to number 17. So currently, I'm trying to learn how to annotate books. I'm watching different videos and other booktubers because I want to be a more critical reader, and I also want to make in-depth book reviews. So on to number 18. So speaking of book reviews, I'm really bad at it. It's really hard for me to put my thought into words, but you know guys, practice is the key. So moving on to number 19. I usually read at night because I have insomnia, and reading a book helps me to sleep. And then number 20, I'm actually the only bookworm in my family. So Booktube has become an outlet for me to share my passion. And of course, I've met some really good friends who, share the same passion as I do. And we can talk endlessly about books, which I really love about our community. So yeah. Number 21. So the first place I visit when I go to any mall is fully booked. It's automatic. Then afterwards, we can look for a place to eat at. And then I rarely go to National Bookstore because it's very messy in there. It's like Forever 21, but for books and school supplies. I don't know if you get the analogy or not, but it's like that. So moving on to number 22. So my favorite comic and the first comic I ever read is Archie Comics. So I have a mini collection right now, and hopefully I could start collecting soon. Moving on to number 23. I actually can't read two books at the same time because I get things mixed up, so I generally avoid doing that. So moving on to 24, my gosh, we're almost there. So I started reading when I was in high school, like seriously reading, and then I started collecting books when I was in college. So lastly, number 25, one of my travel goal is to visit Scotland, and that's mainly because of a book called Outlander and a TV series with the same name. I would have loved to, visit historical places and castles and such. So yeah, hopefully I can do it in my 20s. So I'm very excited talaga for that one. And that's 25 bookish facts about me. I hope you guys get to know me a little bit better. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and see you in the next video. Bye!